years enough, Nicholas is really growing up fast.
Are we going to hit on some girls?
And on Charlie's Angels, a drug dealer turns Kelly into a junkie.
I have been shot up with heroin.
Then Ross disappears from Vegas, and Dan's new boss wants him dead.
Wednesday.
Beatlemania is playing to standing ovations across the country, and here's why.
The live music made it.
I really feel like I'm seeing the Beatles. The visual images were unbelievable.
Marvelous visual, musical, and nostalgic experience.
Beatlemania.
See Beatlemania live at the Palace, October 10th through the 28th. Call 523-1755 and charge your tickets now.
It's the sellout. Central Cadillac is out to sell more than 250 1979 Cadillacs, the largest inventory in Ohio, to make room for the 1980s. Central Cadillac will sell out to you. Our prices are falling. Huge discounts earned by achieving the factory sales goals are continuing. We're ready to deal. The sellout ends soon at Central Cadillac. So hurry before we're all sold out. Central Cadillac.
Catch Tic-Tac-Toe tomorrow night at 7:30.
All right, Frank, guess. Well, Ray Beck wore 65. We had a couple of 65s. I better fish around and find out. 42, of course, Charlie Connolly. 16, well, yours truly. 29, Alex Webster. Kyle Rowe, 44. 65, Ray Beck.
And every one of them watching tonight. Big Red in Jersey. Kyle in New York. Chuck down in Mississippi.
Clarksdale, Mississippi. Yeah, Frank and I know that. All right, Brian. Brian Sight. And he turned on this huge crowd of an anticipated 80,000. In the first quarter, hit Dave Logan. Beautiful pass, corner of the end zone. Throwing the ball on first down. Then Cleveland ran into a little bit of trouble. Dallas moved the ball. They had a couple of fumbles. They had an interception. They had a blocked field goal. And anything and everything that could have happened to Dallas has just about happened to them tonight. Cockcroft will kick off. Springs it deep along with Steve Wilson. And this will be Wilson, who had a touchdown against the Bears, called back last week of 84 yards. Steve Wilson, a rookie from Howard and the son of a former great player with the Rams in Cleveland. Touchdown, Tommy Wilson. Got some good moves there, hasn't he? Goes to the outside.
He is fast.
Dallas was a 1st and 10. The ball up to 31. And, Don, you've been in that locker room, and things went like this with Dallas. What did you hear from Tom?
Well, you really hear almost the same thing. They really cut out the chatter. They cut out the business. They go right back over, see if any changes, any adjustments that have been made they didn't expect, try to go over that. But usually they go back and say, let's go what we had going in. They worked awful hard to get ready for the game, so they'll know.
And never any panic.
No panic.
Tony Dorsett.
Maybe they should panic.
And I'll tell you what's happening to Dorsett. You fumble the ball a few times, and every time you go up against the team, they're going to test you. Every second man in there is going to pop that ball. They're going to try and jar it loose, and it just compounds a problem if you have one.
And that's a good comment, because that's what Dorsett is thinking about, and that's what self-inhibits his play.
You also look and see, how did Mickey Sims get back there in the backfield before Tony got to the line of scrimmage? You check through things like that. How's he back there? Somebody blocking.
2nd down, 10. Laidlaw, and he moves out close to the 35-yard line. For 4, it's going to be 3rd down and 6.
That's a big play, because you know that Tom Landry wants this team to get off the mark in a hurry. And this first series, again, is an important series. As we have had several for the Cowboys in the first half, and we have one again here.
Into the ball game on 3rd and 6. The passing down for Dallas comes Ron Springs, Jay Salty, and Preston Pearson. The receiving core, if you will, of the Cowboys in a passing situation. Roger out of the shotgun. Cleveland brings in their 5th defensive man. And Roger hurried again, and it was Mickey Sims once again in on Roger's drawback.
Getting good pressure by Mickey Sims and Mike St. Clair both. Of course, you see Shirk around there. Shirk is a guy you kind of expect. He's got the reputation. They'll try to double him in there occasionally.
You know, Sims isn't really, he's more of a player against the run. He came up in '77 as a 4th-round draft. Strong against against the run out of South Carolina State. The men they expect to get the pass rush from are Lyle Alzado and Short. But Sims is turning in quite a ball game tonight. Fourth down, Danny White, and there's Keith Wright at the 25-yard line. Dangerous punt return man for Cleveland. White aims it high. Wright was going to call for a fair catch. He never got the hand up. Flag is down. And keep in mind a new rule. Don't know whether that was applicable on that particular play, but number 47 of the Browns, that would be Ricky Jones, is gesticulating like he may have caused the foul.
Sure, you can see that clip was right in front of us, Don.
Well, I think it does. It applies to the new rule because it was not one of your real obvious sort of clips. I'm sure that we'll have it again. Maybe you can take a look at it. But would that be where the guy's blocking below the waist, or he just pushed him from the back?
That was just an out-and-out clip, I believe.
I thought he just pushed him. I didn't see him
from the back.
Yeah.
Right in front of him.
Personal foul. Clipping 27 on the return to first down.
He meant 47. Watch this. 27 is Tom Doughton. He's not the special team.
There you
Ricky Jones.
Ricky Jones. And the ball is moved back to the 14-yard line.
There it is.
Any contact from behind, of course, the call is clipping. So Cleveland deep in their own territory, but still with a 20-7 lead. This is Calvin Hill. Calvin Hill moves out over the 15 to about the 17, giving 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. And Greg Pruitt will come out, test his knee that he hurt in the second quarter to see if he can go back into the lineup.
Well, let me tell you, if the threat of Greg Pruitt on the ground is not in there, Cleveland is in for trouble. And let's watch what Stipe does. Deep in his own territory. Let's see if he plays the venturesome kind of game he did throughout the first half to the very end.
Ball marked closer to the 18, so make it 2nd down and 7. Here's Mike Pruitt, and Mike Pruitt gets out over the 20 to the 21-yard line. Short of the first down by a long 2. D.D. Lewis in there on the stop defensively for Dallas. Call it 3rd down and 3 for Cleveland.
These two teams went wild in the first quarter. Since then, there's been an obvious and natural letdown. Although, in fairness to Dallas, they moved the ball well, seemingly at will, except for the interception and a touchdown by Doughton. A fumble on the Cleveland 19 and a fumble on the Cleveland 2.
Keith Wright comes in for Reggie Rucker. Has to be considered passing down for Cleveland, but they play it conservatively. And they are close to a first down at the 25-yard line. Mike Pruitt carrying the ball.
That was a good first. Good look. We used to call it a delayed trap. One of the reasons that you run a play like that, you find a defensive end that tendencies go to the outside, which is Harvey Martin's. It is a passing situation. Harvey's usually going to take that outside move. Try to come back in and close off Randy White on the inside and break up a little hole right between those two guys.
And from high overhead, the Goodyear Blimp America from Houston, Texas gives us a beautiful view of the stadium on a great night for football. Our cameraman Norm Olson is up there with Captain John Moran from Texas.
Tomball, Texas.
On 1st and 10, Sipe, play action. Going deep, Rucker's there. And it's off the fingertips.
Oh, boy.
I love that call.
That's a good call.
Really do.
I thought he was trying to get his backs out because he had Mike Pruitt open on the other side. But Rucker came out on there, and Kyle here, little fake to the inside, ran right through him.
That's the way to play this game. Just overthrew him.
You got to feel that that's basically in the area of Cliff Harris, the free safety roaming over there. And Cliff is really aggressive, tries to play those runs first. Drop back out, a good route by Rucker. It wasn't really over the middle, but it was up deep.
You could almost hear Kyle say, "Where are you, baby? Where's the phone?
Give me some help, baby. Where is somebody?"
On 2nd and 10. Sipe again, play action. Goes for Rucker again. This time it comes off the fingertips. High over the arms of Rucker. Benny Barnes is in position for the defense. Had it been on target.
By the way, Frank Howard, y'all may not know this, but this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience, you see. And any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without express written consent of the National Football League, Rooney advantage is prohibited.
It has never been expressed, but okay. But the key thing here is that the Browns are not playing safe. They didn't connect, especially on the first one, to Rucker when he was open.
And they've got themselves in a 3rd and 10.
Look at that blitz coming in there. And that's a delayed blitz by that, I was telling a while ago, Thomas Henderson. When Dallas gets an offense in a split formation or that wide set, they figure they don't have, nobody can block him. It's a little delayed blitz. You see the back go out. And now here comes Henderson, and he's one of the few linebackers who has that kind of speed that can come in there from the left, and boy, does he put it to him.
What a hit.
Randy White was fairly close, number 54, but the hit goes to Henderson.
There's a guy that was clocked as a linebacker, Langston, at 9'5". He can motor. Johnny Evans will punt. He has not been punting well tonight. Wade Manning is standing at midfield for Dallas. Wade Manning, rookie free agent out of Ohio State. Awaits of Evans. Kicks it low. Manning has a chance. Bobbles the ball and gets back to the 45-yard line. Flags are down all over the field.
All sorts of flags on Wade Manning.
A lot of laundry.
Again, we've seen so many flags on the different punting teams, kicking teams this year. And we have enough on clip. Those against Dallas this time.
Wade Manning is kind of an unusual story, and he really came into Dallas at the last minute almost by saying, well, I might as well give it a try. He's basically a baseball player.
That's what he was.
Yep.
Not a bad one either.
No, he did all right. But he figured if he didn't get drafted in the baseball draft high enough, he wouldn't have a shot. Let's see what we got working here.
Personal foul. Clipping 34 on a the first down.
Aaron Mitchell, another rookie out of the University of Nevada at Las Vegas. Guilty of clipping. And there's Greg Pruitt. He's on the sidelines. We don't know whether we'll see him or not. Maybe we'll find out when we come back in just a moment.
Goodyear Tiempo, official tire of the 1980 Winter Olympics, brings you Art Devlin, Vice President, Lake Placid Olympic Committee.
If you're coming up here for the Olympics, let me tell you, with our crazy weather, it's no picnic driving here any season. That's why I drive on Tiempo.
Tiempo is the rain tire, snow tire, sun tire. One tire that does it all.
College football on ABC, and it can make for a very fun Saturday.
Look at Brian Sipe there. That's a little ammonia. He says, let me get my head clear. He really did. You see Mark Miller and Evans both warming up on the sideline.
Penalty against Dallas. They still have good field position, their own 39-yard line. They would have been in Brown territory. Plowback right to the air on first down. Billy Joe Dupree wide open. Dupree up in it. He has a first down. 43-yard line of Cleveland.
Oh, how that man can pick a team apart.
It was laid right in between. He had Charlie Hall out there, and he had really pretty good coverage. I think it's Charlie Hall and Ron Bolton, number 28. Let's see if we can pick it out. Now, actually, it's 27. Sorry. Yeah, that's Ron Darden. You're right. Just hit right on in there. Had pretty good coverage. They were back in that position. Clarence Scott, number 22, is in there. Billy Joe found that opening and a big first down.
Solid tight end. Not as spectacular as a Russ Francis, maybe, or a Dave Casper, but solid.
Alois Blackwell in there. Dorsett moves out of the lineup. The handoff goes to Scott Laidlaw. And Laidlaw is pounded, and it was Ambrose moving in from his middle linebacker position. Stops at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down and 10. And Dallas really has not had a problem moving the ball. They just keep hurting themselves. Penalties. They've had the 2 turnovers on fumbles. They've had an interception. They've had a blocked field goal. Moved the ball well all night. Mark Miller is warming up on the sideline for the Cleveland Browns. You saw Brian Sipe.
No, but you just posted, Frank, you just posted enough of it. Dallas has been frustrating itself. They're ready to get back in this game.
Second down, 10. Baldy in motion. Kick toss to Laidlaw.
Oh!
There's good pursuit on that. A fumble. Bobbles the ball, and Cleveland saying they've got it, but I think it's going to be blown.
They called it dead. But I tell you, those Cleveland linebackers, again, we must call your attention to them. You haven't heard much about them, have you? Not nationally, not about Ambrose, not about Matthews, not about Charlie Hall, but boy, are they hitting. And this is a game of hitting. It's been, well, these teams were so wild in the first quarter that there has been, as I said, a natural letdown since. And yet you have the feeling Dallas explode.
You see a little coaching tactics going on here. They're sent in 4, almost sent in 3.
Dallas sent in their offensive passing unit. Cleveland quickly shuffled in extra defensive backs. 3rd down and 8. There's a play we thought we'd see again. And there's a wrestling match for the ball at the 28-yard line. I think it's Tom Darden with his 2nd interception.
What happened? What a player. Look at him throw that ball in the air. Tom Darden.
Intended for Tony Hill.
Well, once again, they're really covering up on that your nickel defense. He's trying to get the ball into Tony Hill, but you saw Darden was looking at Roger all the way back. Didn't have much. He just said back there, that's good defense. Somebody's coached these guys. They're in good shape, and we're going to be right back in just a minute.
This is the 1980 Buick Skylark. I like the 5, although I don't always carry that many. I like the front-wheel drive, too, even though it doesn't rain or snow that much around here. And the good mileage is certainly appreciated, especially right now. But you know what really makes a Skylark just perfect for me? I've got one.
Buick Skylark. It just might be the perfect car for you. You pilot ships out to open seas through currents that can run you aground. And the only map you trust is the one you keep in your head. Now comes Miller time. Time to head back for the best-tasting beer you can find, Miller High Life.
When it's time to relax, we've got the beer, Miller beer.
Tuesday, Joe and Mac take on a college that turns its back on an athlete when an injury ends his career.
Where is Leon Spinks? Somewhere in this land of ours, he is looking for Lyle Alzado. But on Friday night, Larry Holmes against Ernie Shavers, and you'll see it here on ABC.
Brian Sipe stays in the ball game. 1st and 10, Cleveland. Ball at their own 28. Screen.
Could be trouble. They caught him in a blitz.
The Cowboys in a blitz. Is the best time to have the screen on. Cleo Miller to the 45-yard line of the Cowboys.
D.D. Lewis was the man on the blitz. He stumbled either on Harvey Martin's legs or somebody. Left him wide open. A good move by Brian Sipe. Reads it. He sees him coming in the other side. He had that one set up and flip out to Cleo Miller. There's nobody there.
Now, you talk about a key series as you look at Cleo Miller and a good block from 64.
Hey, what about that tackle by Cliff Harris? He went under 64 and then brought him.
Married him, torpedoed him, and thus enabled a tackle.
45-yard line, 27-yard pickup on that play. Cleveland moving the ball. They've been struggling ever since the 1st quarter when they exploded for 20 points. Dallas has been beating themselves. This is Calvin Hill over the left side. Calvin Hill goes down after a gain of about a yard. It'll be 2nd down, 9. Randy White on the stop.
I'm glad you keep emphasizing, Frank. And look at those turnovers. That tells the story to emphasize again what Frank just said. Dallas has been frustrating themselves. But you can't take credit away from Cleveland. Now the screen pass, and they just told you, Don and Frank did, how the best time to use is on a blitz. I want to say something about that in just a moment.
On 2nd down. Tight, gets good protection. Looks out, finds Mike Pruitt. And D.D. was right there with Mike Pruitt. There's a gain of 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 3. It'll be 3rd and 3. Harvey Martin pressuring Brian Sipe.
Did you see Mike Pruitt come back on that? No man teaches that more than Sid Gilman, the genius of the past, the present, and still the future, as you look at Mike. And you'll see now in the Eagles offense, they'll go out 17 yards, come back 3, and Jaworski will hit the receiver. Well, Pruitt came back in that manner, though, for a much shorter distance.
3rd down, 3. Ball at the 38-yard line of the Dallas Cowboys. A reverse. This is Ricky Feature. Feature does not get the 1st down. Good tackle, Randy Hughes. It'll be 4th.
Good recognition by Larry Cole, who delayed it a little bit, made him go wild.
Point I wanted to make about the screen, Don. Vince Lombardi used to say every team has a key play in its offensive category. The other side knows it's coming. But you've got to perfect this play so that even though they know can work on execution. And so, the Cleveland Browns with Jimmy Brown would use the screen and not necessarily on a blitz, and everyone would know what was coming. But the way Cleveland worked it with Jimmy, you couldn't stop it.
Johnny Evans. Wade Manning deep for Dallas. Evans hangs it high, looking for the corner. He doesn't get it. It'll be a touchback, and Dallas will have the ball at their 20-yard line. 39-yard punt. 5:50 remaining in the third quarter, and Dallas will once again try and regroup from their 20-yard line. We'll be right back.
It's red. There's evidence right there that either your wife or children are in the audience. My wife is. There you go. I knew Emmy would do that.
Eat your heart out.
Ah, she's darling. Yeah.
Dallas has the ball. First and 10. Ball at the 20-yard line. 5:50 remaining in the third quarter. Dallas down 20. Battling the Browns and themselves. Here comes Tony Dorsett. And Dorsett breaks tackles, gets close to a first down out to the 28-yard line. Make it to 29. Tom Darden in there.
And
along across Charlie Hall.
That's right. Darden,
I was trying to get him in there.
Hall. You've got them all in.
You got to hurry.
And those linebackers have been all over the place tonight. Those Cleveland linebackers.
The old saying, Dallas must feel like that general who said, "We have found the enemy." He is us.
Not over yet.
Second and 1. Laidlaw.
There you go.
Right up the middle, putting his head down to get the first, and all of a sudden he found something extra. Out to the 39-yard line, first and 10 for Dallas.
Gentlemen, because as you at Laidlaw, who just had that run, key nature of the pennant race dictates giving this score. The pennant races. Kansas City scored a run in the second. They lead the Angels 1-0 in Anaheim. Gore against Nolan Ryan. California up by 3 games.
Laidlaw and Dorsett. Newhouse not playing tonight. He has a sore ankle. That happened in the St. Louis game. This is Laidlaw on the screen. And down he goes. It was Dick Ambrose who roamed over there from his middle linebacker spot, breaking it up, holding Laidlaw to a gain of a yard. It'll be second and 9.
Didn't they handle that screen beautifully done?
They did. It is a difficult block, but he had a man out there to block him. I believe it was Rafferty that was there in that position to block him. So you give Ambrose even more credit because he had a guy that could have knocked him away, went right through it, and brought him down for hardly any gain at all.
Shot from the Goodyear blimp, hovering high overhead on a beautiful night for football in Cleveland. Temperatures in the 50s. Crowd of around 80,000 turning out tonight to watch these 2 unbeaten teams. One of them will not be tonight. Drew Pearson in motion. Staubach bootlegs it. Now looking for a friendly blue jersey, and he turns on. Drops the ball.
Oh, no, I can't believe it.
Jerry Shirk, I believe.
I really can't believe that.
Jerry Shirk comes up with it as Charlie Hall popped Roger Staubach.
It's always a danger when the quarterback scrambles. The oldest maxim in football, or one of them. And there was a linebacker to pick it off, as Frank said.
There's Charlie Hall, 59. He pulls the ball out as he drags Roger down, and there's Jerry Shirk. Cleveland has the football. Dallas it over with 3 fumbles tonight.
So more and more these Cleveland linebackers come into prominence tonight. Ambrose from Virginia, Charlie Hall, Clay Matthews from USC.
Type on first and 10. Reggie Rucker is there. And short of a first down, but he's in Dallas territory at the 47-yard line. Defensively, it was Aaron Mitchell for Dallas.
Jerry Shirk. You know, there was a night in 1970 when Don and I, before the first Monday night game ever, went up to Joe Willie Namath's apartment in Manhattan. And Don began to interrogate Joe, one quarterback to another, and Joe said, "We're going to work on the new kid from Oklahoma State." And now he's one of the best and has been for a decade.
Second down, 1. And off goes to Calvin Hill, and Calvin Hill gets the first down. He gets his teammate for a couple of years, 69, 70, I believe it would have been. He's had over 1,000 yards a year rushing for them. First down, 41-yard line of Dallas, and Cleveland, who had trouble after that first quarter moving the football, has all of a sudden started to move the ball against Dallas.
Sure has been a strange evening, hasn't it?
It is.
And it's been a strange evening in the National League in baseball. I'll get to that in a second.
Ball at the 41-yard line.
That'd be the moon.
Greg Pruitt will not be coming back into the game, we've been told. Hit by Aaron Mitchell as he gets to the line of scrimmage, and he'll get a yard out of it. It'll be second down and 9.
Calvin saying, where'd he come from?
Wow. Well, he remembers the old Eli song, "Our team will never fail."
Leo Miller comes in, replacing Mike Pruitt. Second down long. This is also a down when Dallas likes to bring everyone but the coaching staff on the blitz.
If they get in that split backfield, you can count them coming. But they're not in it this time, so you don't know for sure.
Reggie Rucker in motion, coming towards you. Sight has Rucker. Rucker close to the first down at the 31-yard line.
Big play right there. Quick play. Frank, Major League Baseball. Bucks won the first of 2 from Montreal, 5-2. Took a half-game lead in the National League East. Bucks lead in the second, 4-2 in the fifth. Houston lost the first of 2 to Atlanta, fell behind Cincinnati by 2. Atlanta in the second game leads 7-0 in the seventh, and suddenly things look very dark for the underdog team, the Astros and the Expos.
The chain gang brings out the ball. Someone's been watching the wrong network.
Exactly.
They brought the chain gang out because referee indicated that Cleveland is about 6 inches short of a first down at the 31-yard line. 1:36 remaining in the third quarter.
I don't think it's by accident that they've been throwing over an area where they've had a rookie to work on these last couple of times. Let's see what they go here. A big one. Give it to Calvin Hill and let him jump.
Mike Pruitt has the first down.
Well, it was all right. You had the right notion.
Yep, same thing. Just get it over there.
And Matigliano telling Cleo Miller to pass something on to Brian Sipe, which he promptly does. Cleveland now has a just inside the 30.
By the way, Don, a quick note. Sunday afternoon, if there's still a pennant race, ABC will be covering the game. But if we do, and if there is still a pennant race, it is mandatory that you appeal.
Oh, that's terrific. I'm glad to hear that. That's really, I like that. You got to be kidding.
Brian Sipe going deep. No flags, and there was a foot race between Benny Barnes and Reggie Rucker. Reggie saying Benny tripped me, or tried to, but no flags.
Usually it's the other way around. Benny Barnes saying Lynn Swan pushed me off.
All right, I didn't really see what was going over there. I was watching the secondary. Let's just see what happened.
Nothing.
No, he cannot chuck him after 5 yards. And that's what Reggie
he barely touched him.
Again, he's really getting good.
And that's the way to do it. Sir Francis would tell you that.
Second and 10. Screen. Ozzie Newsome.
Thomas Henderson.
Super tackle by Tom Henderson. And Ozzie Newsome, well, a lot of people will tell you he does not go down that easily when he's running with the football. And Tom is holding his hand.
Tom hurt his left hand, apparently. And this is a critical play because it could conceivably take them out of field goal range, where Cockcroft, usually the steadiest field goal kicker in the league, as you look at this again, Cockcroft could put them out of range.
And that is Cockcroft pacing the sidelines. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports at the end of the third quarter. The score, Cleveland 20, Dallas 7. We'll return for the fourth quarter in just a moment.
On ABC's World News Tonight, Catholics in America, the church in turmoil.
I have seen more change in the last 15 years than I think took place in the church in the last 450 years.
Abortion, divorce, and liberal forms of worship. Issues of turmoil the visiting pope will face. Tomorrow on ABC's World News Tonight.
This is Jeff Maynard. Chopper 5 is live, and our coverage of Monday Night Football in Cleveland continues right after the game on TV5 Eyewitness News.
Dental care. That's America's fastest growing health care benefit. That's why your Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans have dental care programs that can be built right in as part of a group health care package. And that's for many smaller companies as well as large corporations. Your Blue Cross and Blue Shield representative can tell you about the advantages for both employer and employee. Advantages that make dental care easier and more economical to receive. Group dental coverage. Now that is value added by your Blue Cross and Blue Shield plans.
You got to be quick on your feet to curve for the Friendly Skies. They keep you hopping with nonstop to more places, including California. United's got the most nonstop to California. More than any other airline. The most non-stop to California from those magnificent folks in the Friendly Skies. Fly the Friendly
Travel agent.
Catch Greg Pruitt tomorrow morning at 8.
From high overhead, a crowd of over 80,000, 80,123, and that has boosted an NFL in-stadium attendance to a new record this past weekend of over 850,000. They're watching an interesting football game, electric at moments, dull at other times. Dallas troubled by their own mistakes, and Cleveland right now looking over 3rd down and 16 as we begin the 4th quarter. The ball is 36-yard line. Flag is down. Cleveland should have a free play. Reggie Rucker at the 15-yard line.
They don't need it. They got the first down.
Vinny Barnes saved it. Reggie Rucker, as he has been doing for the past 2 or 3 years for Cleveland, a clutch reception.
Good move by Sipe that time, too, and just standing back there waiting for that thing to open up. I don't know how Reggie got so wide open. He just kind of drifted through the middle. Benny Barnes, 31, is trying to come back in there. Nothing fancy. Barnes lost a step when he made his move. Good move by Reggie coming across, but a good move by Sipe and hanging in there.
But again, the key point, Don, the face of a man, of a coach in the player, working with him. And that's what Rutigliano. There's Greg Pruitt, the right leg. That bodes problems for Cleveland in games ahead, or at least seems to.
Still no major pass rush from Dallas.
Down. The ball just short of the 15-yard line. Ricky Feature in motion. Handoff. Mike Pruitt. Mike Pruitt piled up there. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets a yard and a half out of it. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Let's put this thing in perspective. 2 unbeaten teams coming in, each pulling out late-minute victories all the way through the season. And I'd like to emphasize the point Don Meredith just made, because it is the key point about this Dallas team for the long pull of the season. He said still no pass rush, and that's been true all game. And the absence of Pugh and Too Tall Jones registers more heavily than ever.
6 sacks in 3 games for Dallas coming into tonight. Brian Sipe up on top. Aaron Kyle is going to be called for pass interference, I do believe, against Dave Logan. And Dallas once again has hurt themselves.
I think the point about the pass rush maybe is even more important, Howard. When I saw an interesting statistic this past week. In the past 10 years, the #1 team in sacking the quarterback for 10 years has been Dallas. And they have not been able to sustain what obviously is a fairly excellent part of their defense in the first 3 or 4 games this year.
1st and goal. Ball close to the 2-yard line. Mike Pruitt. And he found
got in there.
Cowboys into the end zone. Pruitt.
Those fans behind the Cleveland goalpost are up as one. college football game. They've gone crazy here in Cleveland, Ohio. There it is. The picture speaks.
And let's take a look at Mike Pruitt. He bumps into Bob Bruning, bounces off, keeps his feet, falls into the end zone, and Cleveland has moved out on top, and it's going to be very difficult for Dallas to come back. Another conversion, kick low. I think it was a bad snap, and it was missed.
I think you're going to see Thomas Henderson coming through. He may be the... Oh, this is the touchdown play. Thomas Henderson hits him in a way, kind of knocked Bruning off of him. Good pursuit on that left side. Put that thing in. They're in trouble right now.
26-7, and we'll be back in a moment.
Now there's a way to type that gets your paperwork done right and done faster. No problem typing from Lanier. You want your work back error-free? No problem. Corrections are made here instead of on paper. Want to move a paragraph? No problem. Add or delete a sentence? No problem. Want your typing back sooner? No problem. Electronic typing from Lanier. Call your local Lanier office.
There's a notion afoot that the boxier your car is, the more sense it makes.
Now, it seems like Buick and a whole lot of Regal owners disagree.
Instead of making the Regal look like a European jogging shoe, they made it crisp and clean.
Instead of making it austere, they made it luxurious.
And instead of underpowering it, they give it an efficient V6 engine.
Buick Regal. Proof that intelligence doesn't always come in a box.
Regal, when a car looks good, it's nice to know it is this good.
Mike Pruitt playing without the aid of his buddy Greg Pruitt here in the second half has scored Cleveland's first rushing touchdown of the season. 26-7 over the Cowboys. 14:04 remaining in the fourth quarter. Ron Springs and Steve Wilson awaits the kickoff of Don Cockroft.
If they don't score this time, I'm going to crank up Willie Nelson pretty early, I guarantee you.
Steve Wilson.
Oh, what a hit.
Looking for a gap. He's hit there by Randy Rich first, and then Ricky Jones really powdered him.
You folks at home, you're watching professional football tonight. Not what you saw last Monday night, but professional football. You're seeing clean, hard tackling and blocking.
I don't know that I can call 5 fumbles or 5 turnovers real professional football.
Well, some of them have been forced by the aggressiveness of Cleveland.
Possibly so.
They've been an astonishing team tonight. Give them some credit, Don.
That's due.
Ball at the 32-yard line. Drawback. For Billy Joe Dupree, and Clarence Scott had him well covered.
Toughest thing, I think, for a quarterback to do in a situation like this is to not press. You're down, you know you're in a lot of trouble, and the tendency is, well, I got to make something big happen in a hurry. And when you try to do that oftentimes, that's when, again, you just amplify the problems you've already had. Not that Rodgers had that many tonight, but he has had 2 interceptions, and that's not really like him. So, again, kind of keep you cool, hold that thing together, take them apart. You got to start off with first down.
Second down, 10. Ball at the 32-yard line. Drew Pearson goes right. Tony Hill splits to the left. Back. Pearson. Incomplete.
I'll tell you, you're seeing a team that's hitting, Don. Give them credit.
Oh, man, I begin giving them a lot of credit. They're doing a good job, but I'm also just pointing out the obvious fact that Dallas is not playing
they've been frustrated by mistakes.
Yes.
But this is an up team tonight.
Yes.
Cleveland.
It certainly is.
Incidentally, next week, for the first time in the 10-year history of the series, we're going to be going to one of the cradles of professional football. Green Bay, Wisconsin. More on that in a moment.
Third down, 10. Out of the shotgun. Deflected. Number 74, Mike St. Clair, got a big call up there. Dallas will have to punt, and that could spell funny for Dallas. They needed to move the football. They needed to score.
I'll tell you, this team is unbelievable tonight, the Cleveland Browns. But next week, the home of Curly Lambeau, Arnie Herbert, Don Hudson, the home of Vincent T. Lombardi, and Bart Starr, and Paul Hornung, and Jimmy Taylor, and Fuzzy Thurston, and Jerry Kramer, and Ron Kramer, and the Green Bay Packers as they go against the talent-laden New England Patriots. Frank?
That, by the way, was Keith Wright.
And you forgot Cherry. You forgot Cherry Star. She lives there, too.
Cleveland has the football at their own 33-yard line, and they have Dallas in deep trouble. 13:30 remaining in the game.
General Motors does make a lot of cars, but a lot of people don't know that we are the biggest producer of diesel electric locomotives. My kids called. They called the factory.
John Schranz, locomotive tester. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
We test the final product. When we start the locomotive up for the first time, it rumbles a little bit and it runs. It's just a great feeling. They call us the glory people, but it takes everybody to make a product. Everybody's got to be good, and they are. They are craftsmen in their own way. It's hard to explain. It is a relationship, man and his machine. That engine is probably the best engine in the world. We need the railroad industry. There's no two ways around it. We are part of it, and I think we do a heck of a job.
General Motors. People building transportation to serve people.
America's champion Charles Tickner in the 1980 Winter Olympics exclusively on ABC faces the challenge of Olympic gold.
Well, somebody there put the right name in the wrong color. Ran out of ink.
Probably so.
Of course.
Sure, it was unintentional.
Festive night here in Cleveland. A crowd of over 80,000 loving what they've been watching. The Browns exploded for 20 points in the first quarter. Staggered a bit. Dallas, victim of their own mistakes over and over again. And all of a sudden, Cleveland has started to move the football once again. From their 33-yard line, handoff Mike Pruitt, and Mike Pruitt gets out over the 35-yard line.
Well, they talk about cloud 9, but Cleveland has been higher than that tonight. Really unbelievable.
Rosie, the owner, Art Modell, over to the left. He takes these games so seriously. He loves it. He bought this team in 1961. He is probably their biggest fan.
Well, he hired Sam Ratigliano, a kind of easygoing coach, and yet the players are so responsive. They're
second down 8. Cleo Miller.
I'll tell you, they're setting those things up well.
Tom Henderson made
Henderson. What a stop.
Gain of a couple.
There's Art Modell.
I wonder where that hotline goes to.
I got to tell you something. He grew up with me in Brooklyn. He became successful.
Should have happened to more people, you know.
He went to New Utrecht High School, the green and white. I went to Hamilton, the scarlet and the gray. Both of our teams stank.
Sam Ratigliano went to Erasmus Hall.
That's right, the buff and blue. We love you.
Henderson playing, 1-yard pickup, third down 6. Cleveland playing it a little cautiously now. Hands off to Mike Pruitt. He's short of the first down. Have to turn it over to Dallas. 11:55 and the clock moving.
First time in the game Cleveland played it cautiously. Frank, a good observation. But after watching Craig Morton hit 3 touchdowns in less than 3 minutes, I don't know if it's ever safe anymore. That's what Craig did yesterday when Denver came from so far behind, it was incredible, to beat Seattle.
Sure, I'm proud of old Curly.
There's Wade Manning. I told you he did not play collegiate football at Ohio State. Was a center fielder on their baseball team. And a great one he was.
Got a scholarship to Ohio State as an engineering student. I like that sort of stuff.
Johnny Evans will punt for Cleveland. Long count again. Trying to dog Dallas offside. And here is Manning. And down goes Manning at the 20. Randy Rich down there early for Cleveland. 41-yard punt, and Dallas is 80 yards away from a possible
to be kidding.
You don't move mountains. You go through them. And all it takes to carve a tunnel out of a mile of hard rock is steel and sweat and dynamite. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Miller Beer.
It's my best motor oil, Sunoco Special. Heck, you can take this 10W40 grade, do a lot of hard driving, and it'll stay at 40 grade. Now that's an oil you can count on.
I can be very friendly, yes I can. Catch you with kindness, that's my plan. Give you courtesy, that's what friendly is to me. I can be very friendly, very friendly.
Yes, I can.
Part of that tremendous crowd, and some of the defensive players for the Browns were kind of leading them on in cheers. I'd say that's revving it just a little.
I'd say that it really is. They were doing all that hollering right over the ears of the Cowboys.
Now, they deserve it. They have played great football tonight. Dallas, well, they have really had their problems. They've created most of them. Saldi in motion on 1st and 10. Staubach. Screen to Saldi. And a former White Plains High School player gets a first down out to the 34-yard line. Tom Garden upsetting Saldi.
He's been a troubled young man, having felt he's not being used enough. I asked Gil Brandt, the super director of player personnel, there he is, out of South Carolina, today, how his mental attitude is. He said he's still troubled. But you always have that with a ball player who feels he's not being played enough. He can play, I'll tell you.
On 1st down, draw play, Scott Laidlaw. Laidlaw pounds out to the 40-yard line, a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Up into there by Jerry Shirk. Both of these teams coming in undefeated.
Remember Robert Newhouse not playing tonight. Sore ankle. Played in spite of it against the Bears, but too much tonight.
Valuable time ticking away for Dallas. Staubach wanted to go deep, and Mike St. Clair was their defensive coach for Cleveland. Oh, boy. Staubach, punt fake. Thought he had the time to get it off, and he was buried. St. Clair was there. Number 74, Gregory, is also there.
Gregory may be the happiest man in football. He's back. He's back where he belongs.
Originally a 9th-round draft pick of the Browns, 66, 4-year starter. Played out his option in 71, wasn't too happy then. Went to the Giants for a 1st-round draft pick, retired at the end of training camp. Deal was worked out. He's back where he began it all as an all-pro. Some 13 years ago. 3rd down now at 11. Staubach. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you, he's giving it a go.
He sure is. He's out there giving a whirl. In a situation like this, I'm reminded of my friend Sisyphus. You remember Sisyphus rolling that stone up the mountain and let it come back down? They're definitely rolling it up the hill right now. He just couldn't find anybody out there. Pretty well covered.
Jerry Shirk missed him twice and finally got him.
I sure do like Rogers' attitude. You know that guy.
I sure do.
Heck of a player.
But that man right there, Frank just said it. Once he missed him. Twice he missed him. The 3rd time he got him. You talk about pursuit. You talk about second effort. Jerry Shirk personified it.
Rogers sacked 3 times tonight. Danny White is on to punt. Keith Wright standing at his own 35-yard line. Danny punts a beauty. Fair catch called for by Keith Wright at the 33. And Cleveland now will begin to seriously work on the clock, which indicates 8:26 remaining in the game. Cleveland out on top considerably.
Buick proudly proudly announces some very fine cars and some very good thinking.
This is the 1980 Century Limited sedan. My sister thinks it's very sophisticated. My dad thinks it's economical. My mother thinks it's roomy.
I think I'm lucky to have it tonight.
This is the limited edition Regal Somerset. I think it's elegant proof that a truly sensible car doesn't have to be boring. Boring.
This is the Buick Riviera, an automobile so incredible that people who could seriously think about buying almost any car in the world are driving Rivieras.
This is the Buick Skylark. It has a surprising amount of room and comfort and really good economy and front-wheel drive. I think it just might be the perfect car for me. Or you.
Do you think that owning a 1980 Buick might be a good idea? Good thinking.
The most important fight this year, undefeated Larry Holmes battles the WBC #1 ranked contender Ernie Shavers. Friday night on ABC.
I just want to emphasize again, you'll see the man in that tremendous boxing guard who many consider the greatest in the world, inch for inch and pound for pound, Roberto Duran. The Sugar Ray Leonard fight begins at 8 o'clock, so tune in at the top. Leonard against Benitez, December 1st. You'll see that one for the title on ABC.
On first down, Mike Pruitt gets the call, and again, Bob Brunig over there to make the stop defensively for Dallas.
In the 20-year history of the Cowboys, they've beaten the Cleveland Browns 6 times. Kind of surprised about that?
I mentioned it last week.
You did?
You weren't with us. Fran was, and I said, Dandy lost to them twice in the late 60s.
I can see right now that's one thing I miss by not being here every week.
It was 11 years ago. I set up here for CBS and watched you, Don, performing in your last regular season game here.
That's right. They've only played one game here since and won that one 6-2 in the mud.
Second down 9.
Oh.
And Aaron Kyle can't get to it. Dave Logan, intended receiver. Brian, looking downfield, saw that he was going to be covered, fired it deep.
Brought in Larry Buffet. They've got Larry Buffet in there this time. They changed up that defensive line. Got a whole new group. You got Bruce Thornton, who's a big rookie that's doing a pass job. You can see right there that that's the closest we've seen a defensive lineman all night.
All night. Thornton was great against the Bears in that late victory for the Cowboys. You saw a sign a moment ago. Say something good about Cleveland. We have been all night long. Respect for this team and their performance tonight is really great.
Third down 9. Draw play. Cleo Miller out over the 35 to the 36. Clock continuing to move inside 8 minutes. And I'll tell you, as they come off the field, names you maybe don't know too well. Tom DeLeon at center, Robert Jackson at one guard, Beeler from Oakland, remember him there?
Oh, yeah.
Left guard, Doug Deacon, Henry Shepard. They have performed admirably tonight for the Cleveland Browns, that offensive line.
That was a great trade Cleveland made for George Beeler, number 64. Together with Upshaw, they were 2 of the great guards of the league at Oakland. And Beeler is held together for Cleveland.
Steve Wilson is back on punt now for Dallas. Johnny Evans to punt. Off the side of his foot once again. Johnny Evans trying to hang on to the lead in the AFC. In punting, I think he's tonight. He's had a rough night. He goes out of bounds at the 33-yard line. Dallas comes onto the field with 6:46 remaining in the game and down 26-7.
Doesn't look good, does it? No, it does not for Dallas, but it looks good for that man, Sam Rutigliano.
What a nice man, Sam.
Went to Erasmus, as Frank said, where the high school cheer you'll remember vividly, Don. Vivo, 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 Vest, E-R-A-S-M-U-S.
No, believe it or not, I wasn't going to say that.
Now back. Drew Pearson. Pearson moves out to the 47-yard line. They're going to move it back where his progress was at the 47-yard line. Ron Bolton all over Drew Pearson. First down, Dallas.
The Bucs beat Montreal 5-2 in the first. They lead Montreal 6-2 in the 6th of the second. If they win it, they'll lead by 1.5. Houston Houston lost to Atlanta 5-4 in the first. They trailed 8-0 in the second. In the 8th inning, they will be 2.5 behind Cincinnati if that obtains.
On first down, Staubach immediately to the air. Tony Hill, intended receiver. Staubach had to hurry it. He was pressured again by Jack Gregory.
And as time dwindles down in this game with 5:59 left, the Royals are still alive. They are leading California 3-0 in the third. They went into the game trailing by 3. So you're updated on the Major League pennant races. Baltimore, of course, has clinched. The Birds, who belong in Baltimore.
Second down, 10. Drew Pearson split right. Tony Hill to the left. Dorsett gets the draw play. And Mr. Excitement gets inside the 40. But he's been contained very well tonight by Cleveland.
Did you see Gregory, 81, trailing him, but not quite quick enough to get to him?
I did see that. I did.
Jack Gregory.
Dorsett picks up 8. It'll be third down and 2. I got a feeling he's going to unload this one. Deep.
He ought to pick up his first.
He does. Tony Dorsett. Backed up there by Mickey Sims.
That's a...
In the perspective of this game, Cleveland has had so many heroes. Frank has touched upon it appropriately throughout the evening. That offensive line that gave Sipe such great protection. The unsung linebackers who were all over the field. The Cleveland secondary led by Tom Dawson's 2 interceptions. What a performance by a team.
Roger needs a big one. Looking for Drew Pearson. And Oliver Davis playing Drew Pearson very intelligently. He was going to give him anything underneath, nothing in the end zone.
One of the things that helped is they had him doubled on the inside that time, Frank, with Tom Darden, who came in there, so he really didn't have a shot to come back.
Saw a quick shot of Drew Pearson, who appeared to have been taken ill.
He sure did, and he's coming right out of that. That's a scene you may not see for a long time to come.
Probably just as well.
Yes, you're quite right. But an evidence of the effort to this contest.
Second down, 10. Staubach. Jerry Shirk. Fourth time he's been sacked tonight. Actually, there were 2 other Browns were in there. Mike St. Clair forced Roger to step up, and he ran right into Jerry Shirk. Gregory was also there.
A year ago, as Frank told you earlier, they thought Jerry Shirk was finished. What a night he's had tonight. Look at that.
And how about Gregory that time? Gregory just manhandled Pat Donovan, threw him back in. The pressure caused by Gregory caused that reserve blocker to come back and hit him. No one was there to pick up Shirk.
And you have to wonder all over again about Jack Gregory and the past year.
Third down, 16. Complete to Steve Wilson, and the rookie from Howard gets the first down inside the 20 there by Tom Dart. 3:50 and the clock is moving on the scoreboard.
Dalton, as you can see, irritated with himself. Felt he had the play read. Felt he should have had the football.
Good concentration by Wilson that time. The ball was a little bit high, and it's over the middle. He is a rookie. Hadn't been across the middle that many times yet.
He's earned his way on this team, Don. He can do a lot of things for them.
The Angels closing in on the Royals. It's now 3-2 Kansas City, the 4th inning.
Seconds ticking away for the Cowboys. Next Sunday, they'll be at home against Cincinnati. Cleveland travels to Houston.
I'm telling you.
Alley-oop. He got you. And Tom Dart could have had the 3rd interception of the night.
I'd sit down and have a very serious conversation with my offensive line right now.
Take a look at this. Mickey Sims pressuring him again, Don.
It's just pick, man. I mean, they're all Let's see. All right.
Clay Matthews, right there.
Hey, yeah, that's not a bad move again by the rookie Steve Wilson. They're just zipping in there. The thing, you know, the Cowboys obviously are going to be out of this ball game, but you've got to instill that offensive line. You can't let down. I don't care if you're going to stand back there and throw, by golly, you got to get up there and block. We'll have some talks about that. Don't you think?
I think Green Bay.
Second down, 10. And I think the 30-second clock had expired. We could have another delay of game against the Cowboys, and they have had trouble tonight.
Now, the last time the Cowboys were shut out, so they didn't score anything, was on a Monday night. 1970.
I remember it well. St. Louis, 38. Cowboys, love.
I knew you would remember it. I didn't know whether the folks out in television land would have known about that. And I'm going to get out there. And
I remember it because the crowd was screaming, "We won, Dandy. We won, Dandy."
Next time I have anything to say, I'm going to send you a telegram and let you read it over the air. You get me? Man, you have been tough all night. Pick it up anytime you want to, Frank.
You got to be quick. Second down, 15. The Lilgo procedure against the Cowboys. Roger going for Tony Hill, and he cannot hold on. Defensively, it was Clinton Burrell, a 6'2", 190-pound rookie out of LSU, who has really been performing well as the fifth man on the defense for Cleveland.
One of the wonderful being this far ahead this late in the game is you can afford to double all those outside wide receivers and not worry about anything kind of coming up in the middle. You see two guys around most everybody, and it's just going to make it that much harder to complete a ball down there.
And the other luxury, if you're a defensive lineman, you can totally disregard the run.
That really is true. Maybe it was a little too harsh on the offensive line of the Cowboys because they know they're coming. Smell blood.
Third down, 15. Inside 3 minutes. Ballback. Going for Saldi. No chance. Saldi picked up and covered well by Clarence Scott, the strong safety for Cleveland.
So you're looking at a Dallas team that's about to lose its first game. But they are so skilled, so professional. They've been through it before. Remember last year? 4 losses in the early season. And there they were again in the Super Bowl. They lost on a Thursday night to Francis Tarkenton and the Vikes. They lost to the Miami Dolphins. This is a slow-starting team every year. Giff has always emphasized that. They didn't start slowly this year. They extricated themselves.
We'll see him again October the 14th against the Los Angeles Rams. That'll be on a Sunday night. Fourth down for Dallas, 4th and 15. Rodgers.
Oh, nice catch.
Fires in there. Drew Pearson has the ball.
Good Lord, he's right back in.
He did not get the first down. He's a yard and a half short.
Does that show you a little courage, though, to get back and come back and go back across the middle again? My hat's off to you, Drew. Well, this one is over, folks. There's going to be some learning things out of that. Look at that. Drew Pearson go for that ball. And that's the guy you saw that was sick a while ago and go off the field, come back down. There's some quality players out there. This Cleveland bunch has really put it together tonight. Drew, good job, fella.
He's really amazing. You talk about character.
There are a few empty seats, but not many, as the Cleveland Browns fans are savoring tonight's overwhelming victory over the Cowboys. And again, I remind you, the Cowboys with 3 turnovers on fumbles, a couple of interceptions, a couple of penalties at just the wrong time, a blocked field goal. Hard to win when you do that.
What this will do in the NFC East, of course, it will fire up Philadelphia, and later this year we'll see the Eagles under the brilliant coaching of Dick Vermeil, as there's a timeout on the field, go against the Cowboys. And as we await the final 2.5 of this game, we'll be right back.
Goodyear Tiempo, official
special tire of the 1980 Winter Olympics brings you Alice Betters, postal worker, Lake Placid, New York.
You know, up here in the Olympic country, we can experience 4 seasons of weather in one day, and that's why I got my Tiempo. It's the tire for all seasons.
Tiempo is the rain tire, snow tire, sun tire. One tire that does it all.
I got back and forth in Lake Placid's worst weather.
Get Goodyear Tiempo, the all-season radial, and eliminate winter tire changeover.
You've just sold me on a great typewriter. But I work with numbers.
The Lanier No Problem typewriter does more than just type. Financial typing, no problem. It even adds and subtracts.
I do our personnel list. Will it help there?
No problem. It sorts alphabetically and numerically and gets your work back faster. The Lanier No Problem typewriter. It does more than just type.
It's been a festive night here in Cleveland Municipal Stadium in all respects. Flags, banners out, crowd of over 80,000. 58 times since Art Modell took over this franchise. In 61, they've gone over 80,000. Second down and 6. Calvin Hill picked up 4 yards on first down. He gets the control call again and pounds out to the 20, where it'll be third down and 3. Bob Bruning should be at the bottom of that pile defensively for Dallas.
You know, Don, if this score holds, the Cowboys haven't been beaten by this many points since losing to the 49ers 31-10 late in 72.
I was just going to mention that.
Cowboys down to 1 timeout now.
Let's hope that Greg Pruitt's not hurt that badly, Frank. He's the guy that we mentioned earlier in this telecast, and we haven't seen him since he left the game with an injury. It was a knee. Was that what they were looking at? Good shot of Lyle Alzado.
Mount Rushmore
Certainly did, with a beard.
You know, and you're so right, because Greg Pruitt is so much of Cleveland Browns offense. Brian Stipe having a big night, but you have to move that ball on the ground. And we understand that it'll be tomorrow before we have a full and complete diagnosis of the knee that Greg damaged in the first half.
Speaking of Mount Rushmore, you saw another shot.
That's right. The impassive coach, Dom Landry. What a great coach.
Taking the Cowboys into the playoffs every year but one since 1966. But in 5 Super Bowls, won a couple of them. Third down, long 3 for Cleveland. 2:19, Dallas down to 1 timeout. Theo Miller, he'll outrun Bruning and more. Out over the 45-yard line.
Oh, boy. How do you like the way Brian Stipe has run this ball club now?
I like the way Brian Stipe has been running this ball club. He has done a good job.
And we are going to get the 2-minute warning. The coaches being told the obvious, and we'll be returning in a moment.
These people all work at Ramada Inn Central, Kansas City. But right now, instead of taking reservations, cleaning rooms, or carrying luggage, they're talking about new ways of taking better care of the guests. I'm Tom Schuler. I run the Ramada Inn, but it's eager people like these who really make our hotel work.
Action photography is easy with the Minolta XG1 35mm.
Hi, I'm Christy Jenner. I just focus and touch this electronic button to give me great pictures automatically.
The XG loads easily, too. This signal shows me that the film is loaded properly, and the electronic self-timer lets us get into our own pictures.
Minolta XG1,
the automatic choice for action photography.
I'll tell you, there's no better feeling than playing in front of a sold-out home crowd and looking up there with the 2-minute warning, and you're looking at 26-7, and you're on top.
Let's say it's at least among the top 2 feelings.
It's one of your big thrills. If you've been around a while, you know there's going to be other days, but you can sure savor this one. Cleveland is doing just that. On first down, had Moriarty, the rookie out of Georgia Tech. Had a sparkling preseason for the Cleveland Browns. Gets the call, and he picks up 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7.
I don't know what will happen in this tough topsy-turvy league next week. There's Tom Henderson. And that half shrug spoke for itself.
And he said he'll be back.
He, by the way, has a bruised sternum. He was holding his left hand. We thought it was, but actually, he has a bruised sternum.
Caught the heel when he made that tackle. That happens a lot. Kind of kick it up right in his chest. Sam's got to be happy.
Yes, he is, and you can read it. Cleveland 7.
Mike Pruitt tries to move to the outside, and D.D. Lewis makes another fine play.
I tell you, Cleveland has been incredible tonight. Sure, Dallas made those mistakes. We've emphasized that.
I want to thank our statistician, Jerry Klein, our spotter Steve DeZika, and tell you once again, as always, the executive producer of ABC Sports is Roone Arley. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football is produced by Dennis Lewin, directed by Chet Forty. Our technical director, Bill Morris. Director, Rob Biner. Our technical manager, Vern Carrick. Our unit manager is Irma Norris. Hope you've enjoyed the pretty pictures. Third down, 7. Pat Moriarty, the rookie from Georgia Tech. Picks up a couple of yards.
Summarizing the Cleveland defense tonight. 3 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions, 2 deflected passes, 4 sacks, minus 32 yards for Dallas, 1 blocked field goal. What a performance.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Why not?
Dallas calls the timeout. I guess they're not leaving until tomorrow morning.
They want to work on their 4th down defense. This is 4th down coming up.
4th down
and it's a rare opportunity to have, to do that. So when you have that opportunity, you do it.
I'll tell you, a lot of this crowd of 80,000 plus has hung around, and they're going to do a act for you as soon as that gun goes off, and it's going to go off after the next play. Great turnout. And of course, Cleveland will remain undefeated, as are the Pittsburgh Steelers in their Central Division of the AFC. Tampa Bay undefeated. John McKay doing a super job down there. Well, he's got that club pulled together. Mike Pruitt. That's what should be the last call of the ball game.
Well, I think that's 4th down.
And the clock will stop on the exchange of squats. So Dallas will have this one play.
All right, Greg, we'll say happy birthday to your mama, Maggie Pruitt, just for you.
I mentioned the undefeateds, and I certainly wouldn't want the Miami Dolphins out of there. Don Shula turned that football team around, rebuilt it, reached back and got Larry Zonka running the ball again. We'll see them down the line on Monday nights. And Sam Rutigliano. Art Modell says he's going to go down as a great head coach in his 2nd year of the Cleveland Browns. If he doesn't, he's also going to go down certainly as a great person. He is that. Staubach. Preston Pearson, he'll slither out of bounds, stopping the clock with 11 seconds at the 49-yard line. Oliver Davis over there for the pop for Cleveland.
With a heavy pop to the very end. Cleveland pouring it on.
Hey, remember, guys, there's another day. But enjoy it. There's Jerry.
All right, Reggie.
Right.
More guys from Brooklyn. There they are.
Oh, wow. Oh, me. Ain't it wonderful?
2nd down. And 2. Oh! Drew Pearson. They indicate that he stepped out of bounds at the 42-yard line. 6 seconds remaining in the game. Ron Bolton up there to hit Drew Pearson.
Drew's giving him some words back in there. He said, look, fella, you know what the score is. You come over here pounding me a little bit, and there will be another day.
Another 1st down for Dallas. Again, we've already told you several times the frustration of the Cowboys tonight with their turnovers. A couple of fumbles, 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions, blocked field goal. Justin Pearson. He won't get out of bounds on this one. It's all over. Tom Landry waving his hand to Sam Resigliano. Interesting. Keith Wright dropped over to say hello to Tom. There's Sam shaking hands.
What a classy guy, Tom Landry.
And so is old Sam. Yep. And how about Brian Sipe? He got it all started with a big 20 points in the first quarter. All right, once again, the final score, Cleveland 26, Dallas 7. Be sure to join us next week for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The New England Patriots against the Green Bay Packers from Lambeau Field in colorful Green Bay, Wisconsin. Our blitz provided by